Hi friends. Okay, so I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I just wanted to take a few minutes to I guess clarify for some, educate others about your realtors or your apartment locators job, what we do and what we don't do for you. um, and this goes for buyers and renters. Okay, when you sign an agreement with a realtor or an apartment locator, the agreement that you sign is only good until you close for buyers or you sign your lease agreement and get keys for renters. Once you get your keys, you sign that lease agreement, you move in. Buyers, once you close and you move in, the agreement ends instantly, right at that point, the signed contract. After anything that comes up after you've moved in, is not your agent's responsibility. It's okay to call or text or email and ask for suggestions, especially for new homeowners. If you've never owned a home before, some things you don't know how to navigate, or if you know there is so much information thrown at you when you purchase a home, so some things you may not remember, so it's okay to call and ask to be pointed in the right direction. Totally fine. Some agents are okay with that, some are not, because it's not a part of our agreement, so they don't have to. They move on and work with other clients. So so it's okay. It's okay for some agents. For me, I'll speak for myself. For me, it is okay to still call and ask for suggestions or advice. If you don't ask, I'm not volunteering anything, because we get into legal issues and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't just just freely give information or advice. If you ask, I will. But if you have an issue after you move in and you contact your agent for assistance, don't get upset if they don't help you, because they don't have to. That's not a part of their agreement, the agreement that you guys signed at the beginning. That's just the way it is, and that's with anybody. You sign a contract for a job to get done, the job gets done, the contract is over. Agents don't come with lifetime warranties or nothing like that. We get paid to help you for the time that we helped you, for doing the job that we were paid to do. Anything after that, anything that I do after you move in, any work that I'm doing for you after our contract ends, I'm out of compliance. So I don't play about that. But that's just the way it is. So if your agent or your locator is, if you want to say they're not being helpful, you're in the wrong, because they did what they were contracted to do. Helping you beyond move in is not a part of their contract. So what's important for you all to do is to listen for buyers. Listen at that new construction. Listen at your construction managers. Listen to them during that pre-walk, because they're giving you information that you're really gonna need. It may be boring to stand there and listen to all that, but I'm telling you, as soon as something go wrong, you're gonna be like, oh man, what did he say? How do we do this? Pay attention. This is stuff you're gonna have to know as a homeowner. Nobody's gonna baby you. You're part of the club now. For renters, it's important for you to read your lease agreement. Even if your agent read it, your agent is just reading it to make sure ain't nothing foul in there. Your agent isn't reading it so that we can remember all of your terms, so when something happens after you move in, you call your agent and ask how to do this, or what is this, or how do I do that. That's not why we're reading the lease. We're reading it to protect you before you sign. If anything happens after you move in, that's not on your agent to fix for you. We're not lawyers, we're not attorneys, we cannot represent you. want to live on your own, you grown. You have to be an adult. You have to know where to go to find answers and how to deal with issues, and not rely on everybody else or anybody else to do it for you. It's a business transaction. You're renting a house from a landlord. That's a business person. That's that's an investor. That's a business person. You have to know how to talk to people like that, without feeling like you gotta cuss them out or you gotta go off. It's not always. It's not about that all the time. You have to learn how to have business-like conversations. So with new construction, if you have issues the first year of your home, the first year of you living in your home, everything is covered by the builder. So it's pretty much bumper to bumper. Anything that goes wrong with the house, your appliances, anything like that, call the builder, okay? Now, if it's just something negligent that you effed up on your own, tearing stuff up, that's on you. The builder ain't gonna fix that. If it's something that they did wrong or something that they put in that fell apart, they'll know. They'll know. So they'll take care of it. But if it's something that you tore up yourself, you better figure out a way to fix it. Always have a handyman. Always have 1 or 2 of them, to help you, maintain your home. And that's whether you're renting or you're buying. Because if you're a tenant and you call the landlord for every little thing, they are not going to want to keep you in the house. So you got to learn to be self-sufficient and get stuff done on your own. When it comes to renting, there's 2 ways that landlords handle their property. They'll hire a listing agent just to list it, and that's it. Just to find a tenant. Once they find a tenant, their agreement is over. That listing agent has nothing else to do with that property. Don't call them for anything in regards to that property. They're done. Their job is done. Their job was just to list it until somebody moves in. The other way that landlords hire property managers is to list it for them, to find them a renter, and to manage the property for them after the tenant moves in. That's why it's important to read your lease agreement. You're going to find that information in your lease agreement. Who is my property manager? It's either going to say that listing agent's company is your property manager, or it's going to say the owner. Some owners like to manage their own property because they're experienced in it, or they just don't want to pay a property manager every month to manage it for them, or a combination of both. Sometimes it can go the other way too. Sometimes the owner will find a tenant on their own. Of course, it's not going to be an MLS because you have to be unless they're a realtor, it'll be an MLS. But sometimes they'll find a tenant on their own, and once the tenant moves in, then they'll have the property manager take over from there. They want to find a tenant themselves, but they don't want to manage it. It can go that way as well. So however it goes, regardless, in your lease agreement, it's going to tell you who's managing the property, who to call if anything goes wrong in the house. You got to read. Don't depend on your agent to read it and know your lease agreement backwards and forwards for you. That's not what we do. We read it at that moment just to make sure, ain't no funny business going on, and we keep it moving. I don't memorize anybody's terms of their lease because that's your job. If you sign a lease to move in a house, you have to handle your business. And for buyers, once we close, for my new construction people, those sales agents don't want to hear from you no more. Those construction managers don't want to hear from me no more. That sales agent don't want to hear from me unless I'm bringing her another buyer or him. Our job is done. Their job is done with your property once you close. They don't want to hear from me no more. So that's just the way it works. Nobody's being mean. Business is business. That's what it is. And whether I'm a friend or not, friendship and business are separate. We take care of the business first, and then we're friends again. But I'm not bending any rules, and I don't do any of that you know, anything that's going to jeopardize my license or put me in any type of legal bind for friends. So that's the way that works. So don't be upset if, you know, if an agent is not, you know, doing what you want them to do. That's not what we do. We're not lawyers. We're not attorneys. We're no longer representing you. So we cannot, you know, continue to speak on your behalf after the deal is done. That goes for me or any other agent. So like I said, you know, I'm willing to help, give advice if you ask, you know, to kind of point you in the right direction, but I cannot make phone calls or send emails on your behalf after you close or after you move into your rental property. That's just the way it works. And you know, being friends does not trump that. Business is business, and that's what I do. So I hope that I made that clear for some and maybe gave new information for others. Either way, I hope it helped. And y'all let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop them down below or send me a text or email, phone call, however you prefer to communicate. All right, y'all take care.